All right, so today I played round five. Today I calculated really poorly, I think, even though I won the game, but I think my opponent made many mistakes too. So it's kind of lucky that I won this game. But anyway, let's see. So it was an e4. I was white. Before the game, I saw what he plays. He plays c6 or b6, so I was preparing quite a bit for that. But then he ended up playing e5. And then I'll just continue what I normally do. So knight free knight c6, knight c3 here. He plays bishop c5, and I'm playing knight. This is a well-known trick. Many people they aren't very familiar, or mainly they are not so sure what to play after knight c3 on move 3. So this is actually the line. So here, worth mentioning that here queen f if he plays queen f6, better not do knight d5. I have a very bad memory. In this, I played 95 in a very in I think it's some championship, some 25-minute rapid game round one. I played this and a knight of free just shocks me. There's a little bit of compensation, but like please don't do this. It's a crime, and it's a whole lot of suffering. In that game, I drew for some reason, but yeah, just don't try this. Like queen d4, he'll play d6. Uh, Here I play bishop e2. I was going to play bishop e3, but after knight f6, I wanted to play bishop g5, so I didn't want to do this, like repeat the like moving a piece twice in the opening. So I just played bishop e2, keeping things flexible. Also, I was considering f4 actually in the game, um, but f4 I think like c5 is quite maybe c5, and then bishop e5 check. King F, maybe play bishop d7. And then I don't know, like c5 just annoyed me quite a bit, so I didn't want to do this. And also, my coach told me to do things naturally before the game. I think f4 is quite unnatural. In fact, queen h4 would be quite devastating. Like g3, knight f3. This would be a new trap. I think, like for me, it doesn't lose, but yeah. So I play bishop e2, and then he played knight f6. So, and then now uh oh no, he didn't play knight f6. Sorry, he played queen f6. So here definitely you have to defend the queen, otherwise knight f3 will land. So bishop e3, and after bishop e3 he played c5, which I think is weird. Like positionally or structurally, this is terrible. Like it makes no sense. I played queen d2 as I planned. At some point, I anticipated that the queen will fall back anyway, and I chose d2. Here, he played knight h6. And there are many ideas here. You can consider taking bishop g5, knight d5, knight b5, or queenside castle. A whole lot of things work. In the game, I was reluctant to take on h6 because this line I didn't really understand. Like, I thought, okay, maybe I can do better. So I just played knight b5 here. He castled, which is his idea. And here, I didn't want to play knight d6, rook d8, and face these complications. So I played, I also didn't want to take on h6. I want to keep the bishop to take here on e3 to eye the king side and also the c5 pawn. So I just played, after castles, queen d6. And he played bishop e6, which shocked me in the game, but it turns out to be a good move according to the engine. Apparently, that black should find some counterplay for my king. Um, and this I really underestimated, I have to say, during the game. I underestimated how he might um, like annoy my king. And here I played um, after bishop e6. I played queen c5. This is a bit sloppy. I should have considered a bit more moves. Like queen c5 just looks very greedy, to be honest. So maybe I should consider like queenside castle, or actually maybe bishop takes h6 first, because knight g4 turns out to be a really annoying thing. So, but anyway, I played queen c5, and then what happened then was that um here I was anticipating rook h8, but for some reason he played b6. I'm not sure what b6 does, but I don't know. Here I played queen b4, because if he had played rook a8, in the game I calculated queen a3, rook c2, knight c3. But here actually queen g6 for some reason will make a lot of sense. Like if you just play king d1, then you can take on e2, knight e2, rook d8 check, king c2 probably, or what, bishop d2. And then, yeah, and then there's a fork. So rook d2. So this would be terrible. But he didn't go for these kind of stuff. But also after rook c2, I don't have to play knight c3. I can also play knight d4. Knight d4 would make a lot of sense too. But anyway, he played b6. I played queen b4. I want to play bishop d4 in the future. I wasn't really afraid of a5. a5 probably just queen c3. In the game, I calculated this. So, not a5. He didn't play a5. So after queen b4, he decided to play bishop g4, which I thought was a bit weird, but I also didn't react in the best way possible. I took on g4 quite instantly actually, because I had this line in mind: takes bishop b4, and I thought if rook a8, rook f8, I will castle. But turns out that this is not a very good line for me. Let's break it down. Like here, bishop d4. The idea is that after rook f d8, so rook f d8 with the idea of rook takes d4. So let's say you do something nothing like a3, then rook d4, queen d4, rook d8, and sorry, queen d4, queen d4, rook d8, and your queen would have to go, and you have to let your queen have to go, and then you have to suffer queen f2 checkmate. So this is not good. So here I spent a lot of time, 25 minutes almost, because after castle I was starting to get worried about this idea knight f3. And after knight f3, queen f4, and I didn't, like as I said, today I didn't analyze very well. Like I just saw this idea and I thought, okay, it looks terrible, so I didn't go for it. Like, and indeed it is not a good move, but I think if I could have evaluated this position better still, like whether or not this is actually winning, or for me, or it's close to a draw. Apparently it's not so simple because black sacrificed a piece, but I in the game I didn't like this position, and I thought, and I was trying to find something more to it, and then I started considering h3, but seeing that it doesn't work as rook d4. It's the same idea. H3 is too slow. And then consider f3. In the game, I actually saw this idea with queen to h4, and then king e2, and then and again I stopped analyzing here during the game because I thought, you know, like I saw something like rook d4, queen d4, rook d8, queen g1, and then I thought, okay, let's not do this, especially after I saw the move like yeah, especially after queen g1, I didn't like it at all. And so f3 I rejected, because here you cannot do g3 because knight f3. So not f3 either. I consider rook a8, rook a1. Sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. But in the game, I was worried about this move, knight d6, which is not the actual reason why rook d1 is not good. The actual reason is because of queen f4. But let's see what I calculated. what I calculated was this stupid line after knight f2, and then I didn't like this endgame for some reason. I think I made no sense. This endgame looks very good. Like, you're up a pawn. You know, maybe I can understand why I didn't like it. Like, maybe if you take, but you cannot take anyway. So, like, because if you take, then rook c1 just traps the knight. So I wasn't sure why I didn't like this. Again, I wasn't so objective today. But anyway, let's go back to that line. Basically, queen f4. mm, There are some ideas here, like queen e4 apparently is a main idea. So, and if you play something like f3, there are always knight f3 ideas. So this was tough. But anyway, and also I thought, okay, I had a little like thought, like I shouldn't go into these lines. I should just queenside castle, like, because like I sort of thought the mistake will come, like his blunder will come at some point, and I can take advantage of it. I don't have to risk too much right now. I can just keep a slightly better position. So I just castled, and here worth mentioning that knight f2 is not that easy as it seems. He probably rejected knight f2 because of rook f1, but in fact, after rook f1, there is this idea of knight d3 and takes, and then rook takes, queen f1, rook d1, and then like I don't know, queen f4. Like this is not so good. I mean, I want more. So if he had played knight f2, I will play bishop f2. But anyway, after I queenside castle, this is what actually happened. He played a5, which is just a complete waste of time. At first, I considered queen e1, but then I thought, okay, maybe queen c3 also works. Queen c3, with the idea to come to g3 also, because I really didn't believe in his attack at all. Like he played after queen c3, he played rook d8, and I played queen g3. In the game, I was considering maybe he will play queen c6, knight c3, b5, and here I will play rook d2. Because if you take, sorry, that's a big one. Um, sorry. So he didn't take on f2. He played a5. Yeah. So basically, if you play knight c3 and then b5, and you just ignore, like b4 will come, and then there are some complications here. Maybe you have to give back the knight. But in fact, the simplest way would be to just play rook d2, and then the knights are still hanging, and one of them will fall. So this was a cute little line. And after queen g3, he played queen e6, which I totally didn't believe in. I mean, I just played h3 because I didn't even bother with knight c3 because I thought h3, like, this just cannot be good at all. And in fact, he took on a2. And here, multiple moves will win. I chose knight c3. If he checked on a1, I'll play knight b1. And there's nothing at all. The knights will fall at some point. Not at some point, at next move. So, he didn't play queen e1. He played a desperate move, I would say rook c3. Here I thought just queen c3 is good enough. Let's not calculate, let's just put more defenders on the queen side. Before queen c3, of course, you have to calculate on knight c4 that you have b3. Otherwise, you don't go into this line because this looks slightly scary, but you have to calculate that the a1 square, b2 square are both covered, and queen a3 check, you have king b1, and you're fine. So this is what happened in the game. So after king b1, he played a4, and I just played BC, and he resigned here because even if he deflects the bishop and he takes on f2, I'm still up a piece in this endgame, so there's absolutely no hope at all. So this was the game. I think sort of I wasn't so happy about the game. Like I think I could do a little bit better, but I guess that's what chess players think. But indeed, like some lines that I saw were not evaluated correctly, and I definitely can improve on that in the future. Um, yeah. So, and naturally, I saw because I lost the previous round, but I saw that the top board, um, also lost. Like our leader also lost. So next round would be quite critical. Next round would be the penultimate round, and maybe I can still fight for the first three places, even though the chances are quite slim. So yeah, because I also made a stupid draw in round two or round three. So, but anyway, it's fine. I'll just continue this next round and let's see how things go. Great. So I'll see you again on round 6.